what my $5,000 dividend portfolio paid me each month for 6 months 6 months ago. I decided to do something different. I had $5.00 just sitting in my bank account doing nothing, so I took the plunge and started a dividend portfolio journey. No risky crypto, no crazy meme stocks, and definitely no get-rich schemes. The goal was to see what kind of passive income I could generate each month for 6 months and to learn as much as possible in the process. Today's video will be short and direct. If you stick around until the very end, I'll reveal my secret formula for turning $5,000 in ETFs into a steady stream of monthly passive income. You won't want to miss it. In this video, I'll break down every dividend stock I picked, every ETF I picked, how much dividend income I earned month by month, what worked, what didn't, and what I'm doing next. And no, I'm not trying to lure you to click on any referral link, just a guide tracking a portfolio and sharing it so you can start earning and avoid a few rookie mistakes. Let's dive into it. Let me take you back to the start. I wanted this dividend portfolio to be simple, diversified, and sustainable, and something I could add to over time. I wasn't chasing high-yield junk. I was after companies with strong balance sheets, a history of paying dividends, and ideally increasing them. Let's start with the why. Because every portfolio should have one. For me, the goal wasn't wild gains, it was a reliable income. I wanted to slowly build a machine that pays me whether I'm working, traveling, or just taking a nap. I didn't need it to explode overnight. I needed it to compound. Dividend-paying companies often provide guidance on how much and when they'll pay. Most companies that consistently pay dividends are financially sound. They're often industry leaders like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Johnson & Johnson. While the stock market can be a roller coaster, dividends feel like smooth sailing. You're still earning even when your stock dips temporarily. I incorporated drip dividend reinvestment plans. This is one of the most underrated strategies. By automatically reinvesting dividends, I'm letting my portfolio buy itself more shares, like compound interest with a caffeine shot. But why not just buy high growth stocks? Because growth stocks are great when they grow, but they're also volatile, and you make money only when you sell. Dividend stocks pay you to hold them, and if reinvested wisely, those payments snowball. My mindset was, let this portfolio be a slow cooker, not a microwave. I wasn't building a lottery ticket, I was building a system, and here's how I did it. I divided the $5,000 into 3 buckets. Bucket 1, I allocated 50% to dividend ETFs. This was my foundation. Half the portfolio went into 2 rocks ETFs, SCHD and VMSCHD. Gives me high quality US dividend stocks with strong fundamentals. It pays quarterly and has a solid 3.5% to 4% yield. VM Vanguard high dividend yield. This gives me broader coverage with a focus on high yielding large cap. Why these two? Because they do companies the heavy lifting for me. SCD focuses on quality dividend growers, while VM targets high yielding companies. Both are low cost, well diversified, and hold dozens, sometimes hundreds of dividend paying ETFs together. They give me instant diversification, steady yield, and minimal time spent researching individual companies. Bucket 2, I allocated 35% to individual blue chip stocks. These are household names, companies you likely use every week, like Johnson & Johnson, J&J, one of the most reliable dividend stocks in the world, known as the healthcare giant, with 60+ years of dividend of everything from Tide to Increases. Procter & Gamble, PG, the makers, Gillette, Coca-Cola, the global beverage king, PepsiCo, the snacks and sodas king, and Really Income, with a dividend punch, the king of real estate investment trusts, popularly known as monthly dividend company for a reason. It pays like clockwork and adds real estate exposure to the mix. Each of these companies has decades of dividend paying history. They don't just pay, they raise their dividends year after year. That's called being a dividend aristocrat. Bucket 3, I allocated 15% to growth-oriented dividend payers. This part was more experimental. Growth-oriented dividend payers are made of Microsoft, MSFT, Apple, APL, and Starbucks, SBUX. Now these companies don't pay high yields, maybe 0.5% to 1%, but they have strong earnings, huge cash flow, and raise their dividends aggressively. I wanted exposure to companies that could grow and pay me, especially over the next 5 to 10 years. Here's the actual allocation. I started with $1,250, VIM $1, 0J and J $500, PG, the Procter & Gamble company, $400, Coca-Cola $300, Really Income $300, PepsiCo $300, MSFT $300, Apple $250, and SBOX $100. Out of the $5,000, I allocated only $4.700. The remaining $300 is sitting in cash, waiting for the right opportunity or for reinvestments. To Kick and remember, don't invest everything at once. I used Fidelity and enabled DRIP, which means all dividends were automatically reinvested. Now let's get into the real numbers. From December 2024 to May 2025, my exact amount invested quietly went to work. No charts, no timing the market, just collecting checks and reinvesting them. December is a fantastic month for dividends, and here's why many ETF companies choose this month to pay out their dividends. So if you're looking for some extra income from your investments, December often brings a welcome boost. Now the breakdown of what I made in December for my dividends investment. Really, income is a monthly payer, so it kicked off my dividend journey right away. Really, income paid me about $1.75 in December. The other stocks and ETFs like SCHDVYM, Johnson & Johnson, Microsoft, and Starbucks usually pay dividends quarterly in March, June, September, and December, but their ex-dividend dates were mostly before I bought in December, so I didn't get those December payouts. The bottom line is December dividend income was small, but a start. That $1.75 from really income made it clear my dividend machine had begun working. Now January is when things started picking up a bit. Procter & Gamble and PepsiCo both pay dividends quarterly in January, April, July, and October. So from my $400 in PG and $300 in PepsiCo, here's what came in. Procter & Gamble paid me about $2.50. PepsiCo paid me about $2.03, and really income, my monthly payer, paid me again $1.75. So January's total dividend haul was around $6.28. It's that steady drip that keeps you motivated even when the amounts feel small. February brought Apple's dividend payout. Since Apple pays in February, May, August, and November, my $250 investment in Apple earned me around $1.50. Really income came through again with its monthly $1.75. That's a total of $3.25 for February. Not huge, but again, it's about consistency and building the habit. March was the first big quarter of dividend payouts from heavy payers like SCHDVYM, J&J, Microsoft, and Starbucks, all paying dividends in March, June, September, and December. Here's what I got for my allocations. SCHD 1250's allocation paid roughly $10.94. VM $1.00 invested paid about $7.50. Johnson & Johnson 500 allocation paid around $3.38. Microsoft $300 invested paid approximately 83 cents. Starbucks $100 allocation paid about 38, and really income kept paying its $1.75 monthly dividend. In total, March's dividends came to roughly $29.58, a solid boost to my portfolio's income. I love March. SHD and VM came in strong, and reinvestments from December bumped my payout slightly. This is compound growth in motion. What did you think I earned in April? Let's find out. April brought dividends from Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, and really income. Here's the breakdown. Really income paid $1.75. Procter & Gamble PG paid $2.50. PepsiCo paid $210, and Coca-Cola paid $2.25, adding up to about $8.60 for April. A nice bump in proof that dividend income flows in waves based on payout schedules. Some months are about maintaining momentum even with low activity. I know those dividends are buying me more shares for bigger future payouts. What about May? Is it another sweet month for dividend investors? Let's dive in and find out. In May, Apple paid again, along with really income. Apple paid $1.50, and really income $1.75. That's $3.25 to $5 total for May, starting in December with just a small really income dividend. The income steadily grew over the months as the quarterly payouts kicked in, from that initial $1.75 in December to over $29.58 in March. This is the power of dividend investing. It's about patience, consistency, and letting your money work for you one dividend at a time. You could be pocketing $52.71 in half a year from a $4,700 dividend portfolio, totally passively, with zero worries about market ups and downs. Now I know you are thinking, that's not life-changing money, and you're right, yes. But this is how wealth builds quietly, consistently, and automatically. And if I let that $52.71 reinvest over and over, I'll never have to contribute another dime for it to keep growing. That's the beauty of compounding. If you want your dividends to compound monthly, check this video in the description, where I revealed the only 5 ETF portfolios to pay you monthly, and trust me, it only gets better from here. Before I share what's next for my portfolio, let's talk about what not to do. I've made some of these mistakes myself, and I've seen others fall into the same traps. If you're just getting started, learn from them early. Chasing high yields, that 10% dividend stock looks juicy until they cut it 6 months later. High yields often signal risk. Maybe the company is in trouble. Maybe the payout isn't sustainable. In most cases, the higher the yield, the higher the danger. Instead of chasing yield, I chase quality. I want companies with strong balance sheets, consistent free cash flow, and a track record of paying and raising dividends. Next, not understanding payout schedules. People expect monthly payments from all stocks and then get disappointed. Many stock and ETFs pay quarterly, some pay monthly, and some only twice a year. That's why I mix monthly payers like Really Income with quarterly giants like SCHD and VM. Know your schedule and don't panic when a month feels a bit slow. It's all part of the rhythm. Putting all your money in one dividend stock is dangerous. Even putting it all in one sector is also dangerous. I've seen people go all in on high growth stocks. If that stock crashes, so does your money. That's why I built a portfolio across ETFs, consumer staples, tech, and healthcare. Each adds a different kind of strength. Don't be in a hurry to withdraw too early. I get it. Seeing those dividends come in feels like extra money, but reinvesting is where the real magic happens. Spending them early kills your compound growth. If you don't need the income now, let it work for you. So what's next? I'm continuing to add $200 a month to this portfolio. That's my personal commitment, not because I have to, but because I want this thing to snowball. Here's the plan. I will be adding to SCCHD and VM during market dips. I will increase my stake in Really Income slowly. I will add a few new dividend growers, possibly Home Depot, and I will keep drip enabled for everything. At this rate, I expect my next 6 months to generate over $200 in dividend monthly. Not huge, but remember, this is my smallest portfolio, and the longer I go, the faster it grows. If you're looking for quick money, this isn't the path. But if you want to build consistent, reliable income from investments that quietly work in the background, dividend investing is your powerful tool. It won't change your life in 6 months, but in 6 years it just might. Want to see some serious dividend income in 6 months, starting with a bigger portfolio like $50,000 or even $100. It can really make a difference. It's simple. The more capital you invest, the more dividend income you're likely to generate each month. And that's why I'm sharing my journey, to show that even with $5,000 you can start something real. Go watch the video above where I revealed the only 3 portfolios to make you insanely wealthy. Like and share this video and subscribe so you don't miss relatable videos like this. See you in the next one.